To understand El Niño, you don't need a science degree, you just need a picture, one of the ocean acting like a living system, constantly moving heat around the planet. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on Earth. It's so big that when things start to shift in it, the effects don't stay put, they travel. Under normal conditions, there's a kind of rhythm out here. Strong trade winds push warm surface water westward toward Asia and Australia. Imagine the Pacific like a giant bathtub, where the water is being pushed across the surface. Warm water piles up on the western side of the Pacific. The east side dims slightly, like the water is pulled back. At the same time, cooler water rises near South America. It's like a thermostat doing its job. Fresh coolness comes up from below, helping keep the eastern Pacific in balance. This whole push and pull warm water moving west, cool water rising near South America, is what helps regulate weather around the world. When the system is in sync, the planet tends to behave in familiar ways, but sometimes that balance breaks. During an El Niño event, the trade winds weaken. With less pushing, the warm water that normally stays over on the western side drifts and spreads eastward across the Pacific. And when the warm water moves, it brings heat with it. Ocean colors shift dramatically, cool blues fading into warmer reds and oranges. Ocean temperature readouts pop up like +3 degrees C, +5 degrees C, then dramatic. Ocean temperatures rise, not a little, sometimes dramatically, and that extra heat doesn't just sit under the surface like a secret. It changes the way the atmosphere above behaves. Because over the ocean, heat is basically a motor. It fuels evaporation, it alters cloud formation, it shifts where storms grow and where rain falls, and once the atmosphere starts responding, the ripple effects expand far beyond the Pacific. Lots of people think El Niño is only a Pacific Ocean story, like okay, that's an ocean issue for ocean people, but the atmosphere and oceans are connected, closely enough that changes in one region can echo across nearly every continent. Here's the simplest way to think about it. The planet is one big interconnected machine. The ocean heats and cools, the atmosphere moves that heat around, and the results show up as weather, rain, storms, temperatures, drought. El Niño can influence Saint-Huit of rainfall, the storms, the temperatures, droughts, agriculture worldwide. A warming ocean might sound harmless at first, like sure, the water's warmer, so what? But the atmosphere doesn't think in so what, it reacts fast, like a tightrope walker responding to a gust. Even small changes can redirect winds, shift storm tracks, and change where moisture gathers. And when that moisture goes to the wrong place or nowhere at all, that's when real disruptions begin. This is what makes El Niño so powerful. It's not just one event, it's a chain reaction. And sometimes the hardest part is that you might not realize the link at all until the consequences show up in your own life. The weather that ruins a crop, the wildfire smoke that reaches your city, the heat that forces your power grid to work overtime. One of the most dangerous effects of a strong El Niño is extreme rainfall. Some regions that normally stay dry can suddenly get hammered by powerful storms. Rain falls faster than rivers can handle it. Soil can't absorb it quickly enough. Slopes can't hold it. That's when you see flash floods, water rising in a matter of minutes, not hours. You might also see landslides where saturated ground gives way, dropping roads and buildings into the flow. During major El Niño events, whole communities have been submerged beneath floodwaters. Infrastructure collapses, transportation stops, and recovery can take years because rebuilding isn't just about repairing walls. It's about rebuilding schools, replacing utilities, cleaning contaminated water, and helping people restart their lives. And here's the key point. The stronger the El Niño becomes, the greater the risk of extreme weather. It's not that every place floods every time. Weather isn't that simple, but the threat rises, the odds shift. El Niño changes the odds of certain patterns happening, and odds matter, especially when you're dealing with storms that can go from bad to catastrophic. While some places get drenched, others can swing in the opposite direction. Strong El Niño events often trigger severe droughts in multiple regions of the world, sometimes far away from the places drowning in floodwater. You can picture it like this. The planet's moisture gets redistributed. The atmosphere, powered by ocean heat, redirects where rain is able to form, so rainfall that might have kept fields alive disappears. This can lead to schruttend failures, the water shortages, food price increases, economic damage. Farmers are often among the first to feel it. They look at the calendar, they watch the clouds that never show up, They measure dryness in the soil with their fingers. They wait for a storm that doesn't come. Months of missing rainfall can destroy harvests and threaten food supplies. And when food production drops, prices can rise. That doesn't stay in one local market. Food prices travel through supply chains, grocery shelves, and household budgets. Economies can suffer too, because agriculture isn't just fields and farmers. It's jobs, transportation, processing plants, and entire communities built around predictable seasons. And El Niño can throw those seasons off balance. El Niño can also add heat to the atmosphere. As ocean temperatures rise, global temperatures often increase as well. Think of it like turning up the volume on Earth's weather engine. When the ocean releases extra heat into the atmosphere, it can contribute to Faunavarspuk, to the heat waves, record-breaking temperatures, melting glaciers, increased wildfire risk. Some of the hottest years ever recorded have happened during strong El Niño periods. And scientists worry that future El Niño events may become even more intense as global temperatures continue rising. Because when you add one kind of energy to another, when the background climate is already warmer, El Niño can push the extremes even further. Heat isn't just uncomfortable, it affects everything. People's health, crop survival, river levels, and the conditions that allow fires to grow. And when heat waves hit, they can become time bombs for public safety, especially for older adults, children, outdoor workers, and anyone without reliable cooling. Heat and drought create ideal conditions for wildfires. Forests dry out, vegetation turns into fuel, wind can fan embers into new areas. A single spark, maybe from lightning, a power line, or a human-caused accident, can ignite a disaster. Large wildfires don't only destroy forests, they reshape landscapes and disrupt wildlife habitats. Smoke fills the air, reducing visibility and making it harder to breathe. Smoke can travel thousands of kilometers. That means fires far away can still affect air quality in places you've never visited. People can end up with coughing, asthma flare-ups, and other health problems. And there's a bigger uncomfortable twist. These fires don't just respond to climate conditions, they can also worsen climate impacts through greenhouse gas emissions and the loss of trees that store carbon. So the story of El Niño isn't just weather happens. It's that weather can trigger a chain of environmental effects that last longer than the storms or heat itself. El Niño doesn't only affect land, marine life gets hit too, because warm water changes the conditions animals depend on. Coral reefs can bleach when temperatures stay too warm. Corals aren't built to handle sudden sustained heat spikes. They lose the colourful algae that help them survive, leaving reefs pale, stressed and vulnerable. El Niño can also influence fish migration, fish ecosystem disruption, biodiversity loss. Fish species may move to find cooler water or different food sources. That changes what's available to predators and what's available to people who rely on fishing. Entire food chains can be affected. If one link in the chain shifts, if plankton bloom at the wrong time, or warm currents push nutrients away, then every step downstream can be disrupted. And communities that rely on fishing can face major economic challenges. When catches drop, income drops. When income drops, resilience drops too. So El Niño's impact isn't only storms versus sun, it's also who can live where, and what can thrive, both above the surface and below it. Here's one of the biggest questions scientists are studying today. Could future El Niños become stronger? Some research suggests climate change may increase the likelihood of extreme weather events. That doesn't mean every El Niño gets stronger automatically, but it does mean the climate system is starting from a new baseline, warmer and more energetic. At the same time, scientists are still investigating exactly how future warming could influence El Niño behavior. They're looking at patterns in ocean temperatures, changes in winds, and how these interactions might shift over decades. What is clear is this: a warmer planet contains more energy, and more energy often means more powerful weather extremes. So the concern isn't just will El Niño happen, it's how intense could it be in a world that's already warmer. And even if the average frequency changes, the risks tied to extremes, flooding, heat waves, drought, wildfire, can still rise. You might wonder why you should care if El Niño is happening far away. Because global weather systems are connected, and the ripples reach daily life through more than just headlines. An extreme El Niño can influence
energy prices, supply chains, energy demand, insurance costs, economic stability.
When crops fail or harvests drop, food becomes more expensive. When drought hits certain regions, water access and agricultural output can change. When heat waves drive electricity use higher, power grids work harder, sometimes leading to shortages or higher costs. And when floods destroy property, or wildfire burns neighborhoods, insurance can get more expensive, coverage can become harder to find, and governments may need to divert funds toward disasters. In an interconnected world, the effects can be felt far beyond the Pacific Ocean. So El Niño isn't just a regional phenomenon, it's a global stress test for how ready societies are to handle extremes. Right now, deep beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, changes are constantly unfolding. Invisible shifts in ocean temperatures, movements of water, powerful enough to reshape weather far away. And while humanity has learned a great deal about El Niño, many questions still remain unanswered. Because the next great climate challenge may already be forming, quietly, far beyond the horizon. If you want more climate mysteries and Earth phenomena explained in a way that actually makes sense, subscribe to Infinity Explained and comment below.